What's going on, guys? It's Cam here. Today we got my SQ5 back in the shop. Today we're installing the Tgk Dumpbox. So what it's going to do is you put it in line with the factory air suspension. So it airs out the factory air suspension as low as it can go, empties out the bags completely. It should be a pretty straightforward install. So today we're going to do it together. It is my first time installing this, so we're going to kind of learn together. I've installed quite a few airlift systems, so it should be pretty straightforward. I'm going to go ahead and show you guys what comes in the box so you guys can get a better understanding of what comes with it. And yeah, so this is pretty much everything that comes with it. Got the dump box itself here. You have your 4 ports, the harness, power and ground. Comes with the inline fuse holder already to tap into the fuse box for switch power, airline cutter, the remote. Comes with all the T's to go into the factory air suspension. You have to get your own double-sided tape. Doesn't come with it. And this is optional. So obviously you get your harness here, plugs into the box. This goes into your fuse for switch power. So it'll only work with the car's on. Now optional, you can get an inline fuse holder here and do it straight to the battery. So you can air the car out or back up with the car off. Now, that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to do it straight to the battery with a fuse. So even if the car's off, if I decide whatever, when I park the car, I didn't air it out, but I want to air it out now or show someone how it works, I can air it out like that. So your T's here, box. Don't forget you get your double-sided tape. Also comes with these straights as well. I'd assume it's for once you install the box. If you ever go back to stock, or let's say you have a problem with the box, you need to remove it, you can remove the T's and you can just add these straights here and it'll pretty much go back to your factory setup how the car would come. So I'm going to go ahead and put the car up in the air and we'll start the install. Also, don't forget to put your car in the wheel change mode. Service and checks, air suspension, wheel change. So you don't overinflate your bags. When you lift the car up, your bags will start to inflate to make up for the gap in the wheel, and it'll overinflate your bags. So you want to make sure you do that, and once it's on, just turn it off. So I got the trunk floor off here. So I'm going to run my power cable straight from the battery. The dump box is going to go in here, so you're going to pull this panel off right here. So that's sitting over here. If you're going to do switch power, how the installation instructions, it's on the opposite side. So you tap your fuse over there. But for me, I'm not going to be doing that. So the trunk floor open. This is the grommet you're going to run it through. So I'm going to pull the wheel off on this corner, pull the wheel liner off. We're going to cut a little slit here, run all the air line through here. First, I'm going to do the wiring first and kind of get it all ran here. Your ground post is here, so that's very convenient. It's right here. So I'm going to go ahead and run the power now, ground, just have the cable sat aside, and then I'll do the lines through here. So I'll come back with a little update here in a few minutes. All right, so I got everything hooked up. Got the inline fuse here with this little spade connector there on the battery slipped on. Your 10 amp came supplied, put it in line. Go ahead, close that, push that down there. I had the wire running under here through the spare. Kind of goes here. It'll goes through here. I'm going to clean it up here, but you got to take this panel off here. Panel is this panel. It's a side trim piece. So you know you have these little metal latches here. You got to pull up this. They look like this. Pull up this plastic. And you got a Torx in there, specifically M8, or triple square, M8 triple square. So you pull those out. There's 2. It's gonna be one here, and then the one over there. So if you're running it to the battery and you want to do a constant power, you only need to take off this side. But if you're gonna end up doing this side and go into this fuse panel here, you'll most likely have to take off this side too. 1, 2. And then it'll run the same way. You could probably run it like through the styrofoam here and underneath. Take this off, it'll run right underneath into there. But obviously instead I ran into the battery, so it's just going through there, here. Got the ground right here. obviously I'll clean it up. And you can see I got it working. You can hear it click. So it's working. So next up is really airlines. I'll run it through here, get this mounted. And yeah, so I'll come back with another update, make it a little bit further. All right, so got the wheel off. See, for the fender liner, you have a 10 mil, and a T25 at the bottom. You can pull the fender liner off, and the grommet's right there for the inside. Now for underneath, access to the air lines and the compressor, you have one 10 mil holding it right here. Super easy access. It's right in front of your face. And you have this tiny heat shield that'll come off. Sits like that. Comes right off. For the air lines, you see they're all sized 1/8 line, and they're marked on the solenoid itself. See right there, rear left, rear right, front right, front left. So it's these four. And the instructions, they are color coded, but it's pretty obvious once you have this exposed. You do not cut the quarter-inch line. And just make sure when you cut these lines, you cut them as straight as possible, or they will end up leaking at some point. Now, I will be honest, the way Audi has these airlines ran is awful. I mean, it is just a spaghetti mess. So just get it as good as you can. You can put pressure on the line to where it kind of like straightens out. You can kind of see where it sits. Push in the T and you should be set. I'm going to go ahead and run the airlines as best as possible and see what's the cleanest way of getting around everything without being in the way of anything. And I'll be right back. All right, got all the lines ran. It's pretty easy. Got it running through that grommet right there. You'll see I have it running down fender liner right over this evap box. I got it zip tied along this evap line. And let's go underneath the car. You'll see it kind of runs above this like heat shield here, so that's perfect. I kind of got it zip tied together right there, so it kind of stays together right above that evap line. So it's running pretty nice. You'll see all the T's kind of run up, and I have it running before this 10 mil, so that heat shield to keep it all in place. Because if you have one line coming up this side, it'll be a little loose, it'll be out of place. So all after this 10 mil, so when you put it back on, it sits there nice there, and then all the way up there. So it's pretty nice. So now I pretty much just got to close it all up, put the car back in the ground, test it out. So I will follow back up and get it back on the ground. So I'm going to do a voiceover over this clip. There's a lot of trying to figure out what's going on in this clip, a lot of just wasted time. Make sure after you get the car back on the ground, you turn off the wheel change mode from when you turn it on when you started the install, because obviously the bags will not inflate. So once that's on, the car will start airing up by itself, and then you can test the dump box once it's aired up. You'll pretty much hear when the car's aired out, you'll hear the air like run out of the system, and it'll just stop pushing any more air, so you know there's no more air left in the bags. Once all the bags are filled with air, spray some soapy water on the fittings on the box, as well as all the lines you cut. Make sure there's no leaks before you go home, and next thing you know, your car is airing out by itself. I actually had a problem the next day after the front right was aired out the next morning. So I ended up spraying everything. It ended up being the fitting inside the box. I had to remove the fitting from the Tgk Dumpbox and reseal it, which isn't a big deal. But before you close up all your tools and go home, just check everything before you finish up the install. And yeah, that's about it. Alright guys, that's a wrap. I got it back together. The mistake was you gotta have the doors closed. When all the doors are closed and you turn on the car when it's already aired out, it'll air back up. You gotta make sure all the doors are closed. I also didn't run a dump for the air dump outside, because there's really no indication of when the car's fully aired out besides hearing it's running out of air. So I left it inside. You can hear it inside. You air it out. No more air coming out. Car's totally aired out. Super happy with it, honestly. Super simple, super easy. I mean, really, like, if you guys watch this video, it really shouldn't take more than 2 hours, and that's really like taking your time. So I'm very happy with it. Very super simple install. Yeah, if you guys want to see any more SQ5 content, just let me know. Yeah, thank you for tuning in, and until next time.